Drones are modern technological devices that have gained great popularity recently. These flying objects, equipped with high-definition cameras and capable of reaching places that are hard to access, prove useful in various situations, including advertising, music videos, and even police applications. Due to these features, on certain occasions, drones end up recording what perhaps they should not. Those are the recordings you will watch today. A man who had just bought a brand new drone decided to test it by launching it into the sky near his home. In the beginning, the drone flies among the clouds, capturing beautiful footage, until it arrives at a random house with a huge backyard pool. Driven by curiosity, the man starts lowering the drone, and at that moment, we can see a woman, likely the homeowner, sunbathing. She quickly wraps herself in a towel and starts throwing objects toward the drone, but she fails to hit it. The man operating the drone then decides to pull away and remove the device before the woman could damage his new drone, which would be a huge financial loss. A man who had purchased his latest drone decided to test it by taking off and flying up to the rooftop of his building, where he encountered something quite surprising. As seen in the footage, he ascends past the building's floors until reaching the rooftop, where he finds a resident in a bikini lying down to sunbathe. Upon noticing the drone's presence and realizing that she is being filmed, the woman quickly covers herself and hides. Moments later, when no one expects it, she reappears with a squeegee in hand, trying to reach the drone to knock it down, but she fails. Afraid of damaging his new drone, the man decides to back off and land the device. Furthermore, the rooftop in question was not intended for resident use, as it had no side protection and offered very little space. It was more commonly used for installing antennas, water tanks, and accessed by authorized individuals for maintenance or work. By disregarding these regulations, the resident went up to the rooftop to enjoy the sunlight, got caught in an intimate moment, and even attempted to damage the drone without success. A drone was flying over a very remote area, deep in dense foliage, when it ended up capturing something extremely bizarre and terrifying. Initially, the footage shows only trees and thick vegetation, but after a few moments, a girl dressed in white appears, her eyes completely black, a sight that is both eerie and astonishing. She notices the drone and even moves, but soon afterward, the drone flies away. The video, shared by the drone's owner, quickly went viral on social media, prompting many internet users to speculate that it might be an apparition haunting the woods. Others argue that it could simply be a regular person from that rural area who happened to be there at the exact time the drone flew by. These varied theories show just how fascinated and curious online audiences can be when confronted with unexplained phenomena. Police received anonymous tips indicating that a group of people was gathered on a beach, engaging in nudism in an area where such activity is not legalized. In order to catch the beachgoers in the act, the officers used a drone that flew over and recorded the group of naked individuals on the beach. Immediately, law enforcement headed to the location, confronting the people, who quickly got dressed upon realizing the police presence. Everyone involved was fined, and some who resisted and even insulted the officers were detained and taken to the station. The beachgoers claimed the accusations were baseless, yet they had no idea the police drone had been hovering overhead, recording everything. Once they realized the officers already had all the evidence they needed, there was no justification left to deny the facts, forcing them to remain silent in the face of the proof. A drone was flying over a region of Afghanistan when it captured an extremely shocking and unforeseen incident. The footage shows a car passing through an area with several buildings when, all of a sudden, there is a massive explosion. The blast destroys everything in its surroundings, and thick clouds of smoke rise immediately, obscuring the sky and even enveloping the drone. The person operating the device had to alter its course to prevent it from being damaged. After the footage spread, information emerged that it was a car bomb attack, exclusively recorded by the drone. Subsequent reports indicated that the attack was ordered by the Taliban in that region, and the drone itself belonged to the group, which specifically wanted to record the event for later dissemination. Sadly, such incidents are quite common in that area, reflecting the ongoing instability and frequent acts of violence there. Someone was flying a drone over a beach when it encountered a boat filled with women sunbathing. There were also some men, apparently older with white hair, accompanying them. From that alone, one could guess that they were sugar daddies on a yacht, likely cheating on their wives in this adventure, and ended up being discovered by the intrusive drone. They even noticed the drone and begin making hand gestures, clearly unhappy about the situation. It is fairly common for groups to rent boats in order to spend some time at sea, seeking more privacy for their intimate activities, if you know what I mean. But this time, the drone ended up capturing everything. A woman had her privacy completely invaded by a drone. The footage recorded by the aerial device shows it approaching a peaceful park where a woman was lying on her towel, sunbathing in a bikini and enjoying some relaxation. Motivated by curiosity or perhaps recklessness, the drone operator directs the device toward her, and she soon notices the unwanted presence hovering above. At first, she regards the drone with amusement or slight curiosity, but that feeling swiftly changes. Even after she gets up and puts on her clothes, the drone continues to follow her, tracking her every move and leaving her visibly annoyed and uneasy. At one point, while she is sitting on a bench adjusting her sneakers, the woman even threatens to throw one of her shoes at the drone in an attempt to drive it away. Finally, realizing that she was no longer amused or comfortable, the operator decides to pull back the drone, ending the unwelcome pursuit and leaving the woman in peace. By strategically using a drone, the police managed to catch a trafficker selling drugs in a particular area. Through the high-resolution footage captured by the aerial device, the officers not only recorded the exact moment the suspect handed over the illegal products, but they also pinpointed his precise location. Moments after the illicit transaction, while returning along the same path, he was intercepted and arrested in the act by officers who had carefully set up the encounter. The drone recorded the entire incident, from the moment he sold the drugs to the moment when, on his way back, he was surrounded and taken into custody by the police. The use of this advanced technology allowed the authorities to obtain solid evidence against the suspect, resulting in a successful operation and demonstrating how effective drones can be in fighting crime. The war between Russia and Ukraine has put many soldiers in constant danger. Some of these Ukrainian soldiers, who were injured following an attack in an open field, became extremely frightened when they saw a drone flying overhead. According to their own accounts, upon spotting the drone, they immediately assumed it was Russian-operated equipment intended to take their lives. However, they were surprised to find out that the drone was actually there to offer help and support. From above, the drone operator was able to locate the soldiers, and thus dropped bottles of water and essential supplies so they could hold out until rescue arrived. After realizing the drone was on their side and that the assistance was genuine, the soldiers' expressions changed completely, and they were visibly relieved by the aid. You can even see a soldier with a leg injury giving a thumbs up in gratitude for the help. A few hours later, they were successfully rescued, thanks to the drone's intervention. A drone enthusiast was operating his device in a remote, isolated area near a river when he saw something very strange through the camera. In short, there were men dressed in white collecting a body from the riverbank. As the footage shows, the body in question does not appear to be that of a typical person, and based on the men's attire, it looked as if it might be part of something highly classified that the drone had managed to capture. Motivated by curiosity, the operator decided to share the footage, which rapidly went viral on social media. Many viewers suggested it might be a mermaid that lost its life there, being taken to a highly secret government lab for study. This theory gained traction because of what seemed to be the shape of the recovered body, where a fish-like tail could be observed, reinforcing the notion that something out of the ordinary was happening at that location. A drone caught a ship at the exact moment it was sinking into the depths of the ocean. Several smaller vessels surrounded the large ship as it slowly went under. Available information suggested that the ship was being used to transport drugs and other illegal goods, possibly on a massive scale. In the high-resolution footage recorded by the drone, it is clear how the ship gradually submerges, eventually becoming fully engulfed by the water in just a matter of minutes. After this incident was made public, various theories and speculations arose online. Many people believe that the authorities themselves orchestrated an ambush to sink the vessel at that specific location, aiming to disrupt the criminal activities tied to it. Others suggest that the sinking might have been the result of a conflict between rival criminal organizations. Whatever the cause, the event sparked vigorous discussion on social media about drug enforcement and the effectiveness of maritime surveillance operations. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.